If you're a man over 40, hats can either clean up your look or quietly ruin it. I see it all the time. The outfit's solid, shirt fits, shoes are right. Then the hat goes on and suddenly something feels off. Not wrong enough to notice right away, but enough to throw everything off. The truth is, the right hat does a lot. It finishes your outfit, saves you time in the morning, and actually works with where you are in life right now. So in this video, I'm breaking down 5 hats that actually work for men over 40, the mistakes that throw your look off, and one simple rule that makes choosing a hat easy. And the biggest mistake most guys make, it's not what you'd expect. Let's get into it. Before we get into which hats work, let's talk about why hats actually matter more now than they used to. Look, this might sound like overthinking a hat, but it's not. Your hair is different now than it was at 30. Maybe it's thinner, maybe it's graying, or maybe you just don't want to style it every morning. A decent hat fixes that in 5 seconds, and your style is probably more settled now. You know what works. You're not experimenting with wild stuff. That's a good thing until simple outfits start looking unfinished. And practically speaking, you're busy. You're outside more, and the sun's harsher than it used to be. You need something that works, not just looks good in photos. At this point, a hat isn't about making a statement. It's about having your look dialed in without overthinking it. When you get it right, you walk out the door looking like you know what you're doing. So what actually works? Let me break it down. Quick note before we start. These aren't hats you buy once and never touch again. These are hats you'll actually reach for, ones that fit how you live. 1. Every day. The baseball cap, your go-to. Let's start with the one you'll wear most of the baseball cap. And yeah, I already hear it. Isn't that too casual for someone our age? Depends. The cap itself isn't the problem, it's that most guys are wearing caps that make them look sloppy or stuck in 2003. You walk into a store and see caps with giant logos, high-structured crowns from the 90s, and colors that scream free giveaway. None of that works anymore. Here's what you want instead. Go low profile. That's the dad cap or an unstructured style. Sits naturally on your head, doesn't add bulk, doesn't make your head look oversized. Clean, modern, and reliable. Lose the billboard logo altogether. Small, embroidered detail, fine. But a huge brand name across the front makes you look like you're advertising. A plain cap usually looks better anyway. Stick to basics on color. Navy, black, gray, olive, tan. These go with everything, and don't fight for attention. Save the bright stuff for your kids. Here's how it plays out in real life. The cap goes with your weekend uniform. Polo and chinos. Plain tee and dark jeans. It's for errands, travel, being outside. If you're in leather shoes or a blazer, that's usually your signal to skip the cap. Just make sure it actually fits your head. Not tight enough to leave marks, not loose enough to blow off. Most caps adjust, use it. This is your workhorse. Get a good one. Wear it often. Alright, bucket hats. Yeah, I know, hear me out. 2. Weekends. The bucket hat. Travel and outdoors. Before you write this one off, give me a minute. Isn't that for younger guys? Not really. The bucket hat isn't the problem. The problem is the bad ones, too wide, too floppy, and covered in patterns. That's what looks bad. Here's what actually works: moderate brim. Not safari wide, just enough for sun coverage. Should hold its shape, not droop. Real fabric. Cotton, twill, canvas, linen. Stuff that has some weight to it. Avoid anything shiny or cheap looking. Keep it neutral. Black, navy, khaki, olive. That's the standard move. Now, where does this fit in your life? This is your warm weather travel hat. Beach days, hikes, farmers markets, vacations. Practical as hell. Throw it on with a linen shirt and light pants. Or a basic tee and shorts. It's casual, but in a I'm actually going somewhere way, not a I just rolled out of bed way. Honestly, the bucket hat is one of the most functional hats you can own. Packs flat, keeps sun off your face and neck, doesn't look like you're trying too hard. Just get the right one. Funny thing is, most guys who try a good bucket hat end up wearing it all the time. It just works. Speaking of what works, let's talk cold weather. 3. Cold weather. The beanie. Simple and clean. When cold weather hits, you need a beanie. Simple as that. But here's where guys our age mess it up wearing beanies that are too long, too slouchy, or look like they borrowed them from their teenager. Not the move. Here's what works cuffed style. Fold the bottom up once. Sits clean on your head, looks intentional. Dark neutrals. Charcoal, navy black, dark olive. Nothing bright, nothing with pom-poms. Proper fit. Should be snug without being tight. Covers your ears, doesn't cover your eyes, doesn't hang down your back. Here's how to wear it. Wool coat and a sweater. Puffer vest and a Henley. Basically anything you'd wear when it's actually cold outside. It's not a fashion statement, it's just staying warm without looking like you gave up. Warm, simple, and clean. That's the whole job. Now, if you're dealing with heat and sun, here's what actually works. 4. Hot weather. The straw hat, resort, and sun. Straw hats and Panama hats aren't every day, but when the sun's serious, they're the right tool. The key is structure. Floppy doesn't work. You want a hat that holds its shape and looks deliberate. What to look for? Medium brim. Enough to block sun, not so much you look like you're on safari. Natural tones. Straw color, cream tan. Classic. Quality construction. Cheap straw hats fall apart fast and look cheap. Decent one lasts years. Where it works, beach resort, outdoor summer events. Pair it with a linen shirt and light pants plus loafers or decent sandals. This is warm weather gear that actually looks pulled together. It's not trying to be fashion forward, it's just appropriate for the setting. Here's what's interesting about straw hats. Most guys avoid them because they think they look too dressed up. But in the right context, beach club resort, outdoor wedding, they're the right level of effort. Last one, flat caps and fedoras. These are a different category altogether. 5. Elevated looks. The flat cap, the specialty option. These are different. They're more formal, more specific, and definitely not every day. Here's the deal. A flat cap works with structured outfits. Wool coat, button-down dress pants. Maybe dark jeans if you're wearing them with a blazer. It doesn't work with a tee and shorts. Same with a fedora, you need an outfit that matches. Collared shirt, tailored pants, real shoes. Otherwise it looks forced. The rule is simple, only wear these when your whole outfit is on that level. If you're wondering whether you should wear one, you probably shouldn't. These require the right setting somewhere that calls for elevated style. Think less every day and more. I'm going somewhere that matters. For most guys, you can skip these entirely. But if you dress this way regularly or have events that call for it, they work. Just know they're not versatile. Alright, now let's talk about what not to do. Because knowing what works is one thing, not screwing it up is another. Here's where a good look usually gets derailed, so before we talk about the mistakes, let's lock in the basics. Because if these aren't right, nothing else really works. Fit comes first always. Doesn't matter what the hat looks like if it doesn't fit your head. Should sit comfortably without squeezing or sitting too high. Check yourself from a few angles. If something feels off, it probably is. Neutral colors are your foundation, especially at first. You can wear color if you want. But when you're building a practical rotation, start with neutrals. Navy, black, gray, olive, tan. They work with everything and don't create problems. The hat has to work with your outfit. It's not a separate thing. It's part of the whole look. If your hat doesn't connect with your shirt, shoes, or jacket, something's wrong. Everything should feel like it belongs together. Check your proportions. Put the hat on and step back. Does it balance your frame? If you've got broad shoulders and you're wearing a tiny beanie, it'll look weird. If you're in a bulky jacket and the hat is too small, same problem. Your eye will tell you. Trust it. Now that the basics are covered, let's talk about the mistakes that quietly ruin an otherwise good look. Big logos and graphics are an easy way to ruin an otherwise solid outfit. Look, free hat from an event favorite team, whatever, I get it. But when you're covered in branding, you look like a billboard. Not a well-dressed guy. What to do instead? Go minimal. Small detail is fine, but let the hat itself do the talking through quality and construction, not through someone else's logo. High crown caps add unnecessary bulk and throw off your proportions. Those structured 90s caps that sit high on your head throw off your proportions. They make your head look too big for your body. What to do instead? Low-profile caps. They sit naturally, look current, keep your silhouette balanced. Wearing the wrong hat in the wrong place immediately sends the wrong signal. Bucket hat at a business meeting. Fedora with gym shorts. Straw hat in December. Context matters. What to do instead? Match the hat to where you're going. Cap for casual everyday, straw for summer outdoors. Flat cap for structured looks only. Pretty straightforward. Before we get to the biggest mistake, quick favor, hit the like button. It helps more guys find this. This is the biggest mistake. Chasing trendy hats to look younger usually backfires. It makes you look uncomfortable with where you are. What to do instead is simple: stop chasing trends. Go for what looks good on you now. Refined, confident, appropriate for your age. That's actually more powerful than trying to look 25 again. Here's what matters. The hat should improve your look, not distract from it. It should feel natural, not like you're making a statement. Alright, here's what actually matters. You don't need a dozen hats collecting dust. You need a few that actually work for your life right now, and that you'll wear. Here's the setup. One solid baseball cap for everyday, low-profile, neutral color, no massive logo. One beanie for cold weather, cuffed style, dark color. And one warm weather hat bucket for casual days, straw for dressier summer settings. 3 hats for most guys. Done. They're the right ones, and they cover most situations without overthinking it. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment with your biggest hat question, thinning hair, face shape, or how to make a hat work with your usual outfits. I read every comment, and your questions shape what I make next. If this helped clear things up, hit the like button. And subscribe if you want more straight talk style advice that actually works in real life. Remember this, the right hat doesn't make you look younger. It makes you look dialed in, and that's worth way more. Because after 40, looking confident beats looking trendy every time. Thanks for watching.